Since we've used to buy ready-made dry slices, the purchase of our own equipment will help to reduce the cost of drug production. We have a drying cabinet in our production. It was only necessary to buy a special installation for slicing products. I've been working at the plant for 10 years as the lead production technologist. My superiors set me the task of finding and buying a machine for cutting roots. I began my search, having clarified the necessary parameters with the leading engineer of the analytical laboratory beforehand. He suggested choosing a modern compact unit. It had to be tabletop so as not to take up much space in the laboratory. The engineer advised me to first contact the manufacturers of the equipment. They provide warranty service, drawings, instructions for use. I took his advice. I chose one company on the internet, which produces pharmaceutical equipment, went to their site, and wrote a letter, in which I indicated the desired parameters, and the capabilities of the table cutting machine. I did not indicate a specific device. I wanted to see what they could offer me. A week later I received the answer, that they didn't have a slicing machine, but that they could design and manufacture one if desired by the end of the year. That's a long time for us, so I decided to try to find a machine from other manufacturers. I found a company on the internet from Russia, which produces analytical equipment. I called them and asked if they could supply a tabletop food cutting machine. They answered that they had such a machine. The manager asked for my phone number and said she would call back in the evening when she checked with her company engineer about the machine's characteristics. However, she did not call back in the evening. I contacted them the next day. The manager said that she had sent a request to the engineering department and that she would get back to me when she had an answer. This seems strange to me. When do I wait for an answer? How long to wait for an answer? Not a business-like approach to the customer. After a series of failures, I gave up looking for the unit myself. Then I remembered that at the Forum of Producers of Equipment for the Pharmaceutical Industry in Moscow, I met a specialist who was engaged in selection and supply of laboratory equipment for the production of drugs. I found his business card, and before contacting him I decided to check whether he really specializes in the supply of equipment for the pharmaceutical industry. In order to do this I found his website and thoroughly studied the information on it. I liked that the website was up to date, with video clips of the equipment and lots of contacts for communication. I also noticed that the website had been around since 2003. The company had been on the equipment supply market for a long time, and that is a good reason to say that it was successful. I called the manager. He said he remembered me and was happy to hear from me again. I told him that I was looking for a modern tabletop root slicer with simple controls. He suggested several options for a machine that was popular with customers and production proven. I agreed to consider it. The manager emailed me a video of the suggested slicing machine options. He also offered to perform a turnkey delivery procedure. I suggested the head of the laboratory to study the machines presented by the specialist from Moscow and make a choice. The machines differed in design and the material of the pushers. There were wooden as well as glass ones. Ready slices were collected in a prefabricated hopper. The engineer chose the option of equipment with wooden pushers. A week later we signed a contract to supply the slicing machine. A month after signing the contract, the manager called me and told me that the machine was ready and would make delivery in a week. The machine was delivered according to the contract in a month. The unit is simple and easy to operate. The lab engineer and I, including myself, were pleased with the suggested machine option for slicing food. I realized that I had made the right choice of a specialist to supply the equipment. Real professionals pay attention to detail, and I was lucky to find such a person when selecting the equipment.